Let's chat. It's hard. You want to talk? I know, that's disappointing. Sit back. Let's work this out. How's it going? What are we doing here? Where are you going? Hey there. Wow. It's not always easy. It's amazing if you think about it. Let's think about this. Strange. I have some thoughts about that. Life is hard. Trauma bonded.
Well, fuck T. I'm glad to be back with you after a little 3-week holiday massacre break.
True that. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope that you made it through the holidays A-okay. I know it's tough for some of you. The world is tough right now.
It is.
We've been reading a lot about the fires in LA. If you're there and affected, our hearts go out to you. And we live in fire zones, so we understand the fuckedness. It's like losing your home and then all of your neighbors lose their home and then you can't go to the store because that's gone and Airbnb is price gouging and the whole world is going, well, they're rich anyway, so fuck them.
Ugh.
That fascist clown hasn't even taken office yet. We still have that to look forward to. So fuckity fuck, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy 2025.
Good start, Elly.
I just want people to know that we feel it too. But this year, the mantra is we're going to fight for our stupid lives. Welcome to Trauma Bonded. I'm Elly Westberg here with Therese Garcia in person.
Hello. Hi, neighbor.
Hello, neighbor. And today we're discussing episode 345 of the podcast. This is actually happening. What if you were a political prisoner in Iran? Iran?
Yes, and yes.
A brief summary. Sarah grew up with a mother who'd escaped her abusive father. She was enlightened by this punk rock rebel mother and communist ideals. Sarah came into herself more when she went to college, found her voice as an artist and activist, and eventually met someone also deep in anti-war work, Shane. She and Shane moved to the Middle East, and there with their friend Josh, they were arrested on an Iraqi trail that bordered Iran. In Tehran, she was held as a political prisoner in solitary confinement for more than a year. After her release, she did some badass work to get her people released. She focuses her work now in art, storytelling, activism, and asks that we defy and resist systems meant to steal our humanity and keep us hard, and do the external and internal work of softening so that we can be humans together and face down systems together. And full disclosure, I'm the showrunner for This Is Actually Happening, and T doesn't work on the show, but she's still a wonderful person.
Does it say that?
Uh-huh. And she comes in fresh.
Oh, that sounds much better.
I felt like you're in your feels too much about it. You know, you can only be beat down so much by an intro, and then the intro must change. She's not an idiot. She just doesn't work on the show.
Did you call me an idiot?
I don't remember what I said.
T
She
knows
knows
nothing about
anything.
nothing. Oh, yeah.
This show, Trauma/Bonded, is for the listeners, a space where we can talk about each episode, digest it, and reflect on it with empathy and also a bit of levity. That's Trauma Bonded. I love how you keep looking at the document like it's a scroll that was handed down on a mountaintop from God himself. I wrote it. I can amend it. T, what stuck out to you is the heart of Sarah's story. Lay it on us.
All right. It's a new year, and I decided to do the same thing as I do every time.
I love it.
I went with one word
Okay.
at the heart of the story. This time, ember.
Well, shiver me timbers.
Right. Maybe it's been on my brain, you know.
Yikes. I was like, yeah, that connects to what I said about the LA fires, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. It was like the wind. It was like 100-mile-per-hour winds would just carry embers into an area and just burn it down.
I know.
It's insane. And then there was like people starting fires as well. It's so fucked.
It really is.
Sorry. Okay, ember.
I mean, I guess this proves my point.
Okay, go on.
Ember. Very powerful. Also, ember. An ember needs very little oxygen, right, to survive. It has life and power within it, even, in isolation.
Ooh, that's good.
As Sarah, she kept herself very mentally strong and holding on to her own, sense of self and her own sense of purpose, even being alone for so long.
Which is an incredible feat in and of itself.
I mean, amazing.
It
Amazing,
yeah.
really. An ember feeds on things around it, right? Just the way that she responded to solitary confinement, things she was talking about, like a beautiful side to pain, that one image, we'll talk about it, but the dust motes, that stream of life. I mean, the things she saw beauty in,
Mhm.
she was really determined to not let her spirit be extinguished, right? And though an ember may seem very small and fragile, it has the power to reignite into fire, be very large and powerful and dangerous.
Someone has watched a lot of Survivor.
Don't tell me anything because I'm in the last episode.
Oh, you haven't finished the finale yet?
No, I'm very
Oh,
excited.
okay. Wait, who do you think is gonna win?
I hope it's Rachel.
Okay. I hoped it was Rachel too. Yeah. Sorry. Okay,
Good.
continue.
Good.
Ember.
Ember. An ember is a metaphor for the quiet but undeniable power of the human spirit, even in the darkest, most confined spaces.
Mhm.
And for Sarah, that glow within her became a beacon,
Mm.
not only for her own survival, but for shedding light on the systemic injustices on the world we live in.
Preach.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever heard you say systemic injustices
she
before.
says it a lot.
That's great, T.
Thank you.
I feel like you edited out a lot of yourself, but
I was really into the metaphor.
mhm, I like it.
Yeah.
Mine is not one word, it's many words as usual. Um, I think the heart of Sarah's story is about there being this balance that exists in the universe and also in humanity. It's this fight, and love. And I think we all have those drives in all of us, and we sometimes we don't know when to use one or the other, and we fuck it up sometimes because we should be loving, but we're fighting, and we should be fighting, but we're loving, and, it's that passion, but I think that they are intertwined, and they're both needed to survive this world, and also, it's the systems that oppress us, it's not people. People all around the world want the same thing. Shelter, food, water. These are basics for survival. And then the next level, love, children, friends, family. And then beyond that, dancing, fucking, shouting, joy and laughter, praise and pride. And starting off this episode talking about fighting for our fucking stupid lives this year, what we're facing as people. The We need to focus on the real enemy. It's not each other. It's not groups of each other. It's not anyone that's not human, actually. It is systems and forms that have been built by men and can easily be reduced to rubble and replaced with systems that set us all free. That was her point, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ooh. She had a lot of words and a lot of ways to say it, but I think that is what it was. Let's talk about some of the ideas that came out in the episode. And yeah, again, we're trying to get away from the line by line, even though I kind of write out the line by line. And like let's hit on things maybe that just we could go back and forth, like stuff that just stuck out to us as stuff we want to talk about. I think I'll start. Um, she talks about when she had this way of life that she came to know when she started college or when she transferred college up to the Bay Area, when she moved up to the Bay Area and she was really coming into herself and doing a lot of art and drugs and drinking and but also protesting and thinking about anti-war and or thinking about all of that, and then 9/11 happened, and I think a lot of people in our age group especially can considers 9/11 as a very pivotal moment. We can see clearly how it's defined how we operate. The message, the propaganda that was sold was, "Don't worry about why, just be mad that they did." And she, a thinking person, wanted to know why, because people don't just run planes into buildings.
Mm.
And this is not a justification for terrorism at all, but I think in order to snuff out terrorism, we have to understand the why. Where is this impetus, this drive, this passion coming from? And this is what made her join the anti-war movement, and, um, something that she said that stuck out to me, that it was just kind of like a quick, like, she said it and, like, kinda went on to something else, but this really rung true to me is when she said that she was so sensitive to horrors happening in her name. Did you catch that? I was so sensitive to the horrors happening in my name, because us as Americans, right? When our government acts, they're acting, quote, unquote, "on our behalf," and to the rest of the world, it's not our government acting apart from us. They are doing it in our name. We pay the taxes that fund the bombs that burn the kids. Like, and I think we all feel this way, like, we're tired of our tax dollars or our voting or people we vote for, or the systems that are in place that claim to represent us, that they keep ma making actions that don't represent us, that we don't agree with, lining the pockets of billionaires or corporatocracy or oligarchy or whatever it is, killing kids in other countries so that we can have our Nikes or our bombs or our oil, whatever. Like, people are fed up with the way America looks to the rest of the world, the way that we're perceived, and that in some ways that we are co-signing this behavior. I'm an American, thereby whatever America does has my fucking name on it. I also hate that. I'm also sensitive to that. So, but I love that's the way she described it, and that's what spurred her to be in the anti-war movement. What did you think about that?
Yeah, no, that was great. I was just thinking about my own experience when that was happening and how I was living in Rhode Island at the time, and I was dating a woman who came from a very Republican conservative background, and it was awful. Her whole family and her and they were just like they went all the way the other way.
Mm,
Super patriotic. She was like crying a lot and playing like country songs that were like,
"Want to be an American."
yeah,
Said I know.
yeah, that was it. Oh my god.
And I wanna thank the man who died. I gave that right to me, and I proudly stand up
Yeah.
next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause
Wow.
there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jane. And I'm proud to be. I'm just kidding.
It was exactly
Yeah,
that song.
yeah, that was a big song then.
Yeah.
Oh, the patriotism was off the
It
charts.
was off my chain. And it was definitely that song. And she was like crying. And I was like, what's happening? And I was not feeling that at all.
What were you feeling?
It's like, what the hell's going on around here? So I really had to, it was really good because I also went to art school and I had a lot of friends that didn't agree with her. So I had this was really part, I think, of the end of us. Mm.
Interesting. I didn't know
So,
that imperialism got in between you and your ex-girlfriend.
I mean, still took
Yeah,
many, many.
but it was a divide.
It was a
Saw
big
that it was
divide. I was like, what
too
is
too far
happening?
apart to mend.
It was very confusing because I thought we had similar values, and it was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. It was just very confusing.
I mean, that it really did. It took over so many people. I really think that was kind of the birth of this new nationalism that we have to deal with now,
Mhm.
is getting people back to being patriotic again, and it was just like, no matter the cost, no matter well, wait, we're going to Iraq? Wait, were any of these guys Iraqi? We're like,
Yeah.
there's no, like, checks and balances
But
on
why
we're just lashing out and
just randomly?
warmongering because we're upset that our buildings fell, like, it was a weird time, and it really started to build this it it revealed this crap, this fissure in the country of how people saw America and how it was supposed to operate on a world stage, I guess.
We should probably go to when she meets Shane.
Yeah. She meets Shane Bauer, I mean, it just sounds like they're both super passionate about their points of view. She's called it explosive and beautiful, and that leads up to my next one that I was gonna talk about, um, and that there's this joy they had in the illegal train hopping to get across the country. That's so teenagey.
Kids. Kids.
Have you ever jumped on a train without a ticket?
Why would I ever do that ever? Have you?
I've ridden Muni without a ticket before.
Oh my god, I would never do that.
But I did think it was interesting how she talks about her father, that she went to meet this man who, by all intents and purposes, had been villainized to her whole life, and to meet this person who turns out wasn't a monster and that he became human to her. I think this was a big itch that she needed scratched because she talks about her whole life she had, what did she call it? A father wound, and I think she really needed to finally meet him as her closing in on adulthood self to finally see for herself who he was. And then her and Shane decided to move to the Middle East.
Why not?
Why not?
Have you been to the Middle East?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I admire people, though, that like her, that do this kind of work. He knew Arabic, she's learning Arabic. I can't even get through French or Spanish or German, so okay, here's something interesting to talk about. I'm sorry, I have to stand up. My foot's kinda going numb a little bit.
Okay. There were a lot of cracks when you stood up. Didn't know if that was the chair.
Moans. Since I'm doing dry January, there's no, like, liquid cushion. Usually, I've got, like, a little padding of gin behind my
Yeah.
knee. She talks about how there's an invincibility that exists because Shane's love she believes now, looking back, that she over-identified with that love. What do you think that she means by that?
And she also said that she lost herself in their love,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt that before.
I mean, talk about this is a perfect metaphor for what you're saying about Ember. The idea that we get together with partners that we find because we have this incredible passion for each other, but in order to keep that flame going, it can't be it can't be smothered
Mhm.
because as soon as the air is gone, that's gonna die. So you have to be able to keep yourselves individuated so that
Right.
your flame
Right.
has oxygen to
Yeah.
continue to grow. That is such a powerful message, and it's so weird because I think, you grow up and you keep getting older and you keep getting wiser and you keep thinking, "Oh, I wish I would have known that when I was a teenager. Thank God that the kids below us have figured it out," but they haven't figured it out either. I feel like the generations behind us are still learning these lessons that we also keep learning is it's so important to maintain your own agency and your own autonomy when even when you're in a romantic relationship. You could be the most passionate, meant to be couple in the whole world, but if you don't keep yourself, it's going to die. The relationship will die. One of you will make it so because no one wants to be walking around with the weighted blanket on them. Occasionally nice to have when you need it, but it's not something you want to live with. What do you want to talk about next?
Well, they travel, going around, and then Josh joins them.
Yeah, I loved what she was saying. This just like proves people are the same no matter wherever you go. She's treated as a guest. People are excited to have them.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
even though she said it was a hard year, she said there was real community
Uh-huh.
and she felt like she was at home.
Yeah.
People are the same no matter where you go. And of course, they like hiking. Shocker. All three of us like nature. No. Don't believe it. And they find out about this green area. Long story short, they're hiking this ridge that turns out to be an unmarked border between Iraq and Iran. Not a good place to be during this time. Here's something I want to talk about. She mentions how there's this dynamic between her and Shane that now Josh has to be privy to, of Shane reassuring her that everything's okay and that she's got this lady brain that like only reacts in fear because of her past traumas or something.
Calm down.
Right. You're being ridiculous.
Yeah, it's all good.
And that's not good
No.
because guess what? Even though you've been through trauma and maybe can be overreactive, that doesn't mean all of your instincts are dead.
Yeah.
She had a bad feeling about
But
it.
probably listen.
Maybe she
In retrospect. Oh.
You're negative. If someone poo-poos your instincts all the time, that's probably not someone that you want to be with because of a couple reasons. One, your instincts are all you got. And if people aren't supporting those, you're going to keep pushing them down until they're gone. Or you're going to constantly be biting your tongue. Aim to be around someone that appreciates your instincts.
And none of us really know what's happening. None of us have been here before, so
Can read the future.
how do we even know
Yeah.
what's going to happen?
Yeah. Most likely things are going to be okay. But if someone has an instinct about something, let's hear them out.
I mean, we wouldn't even be there at all.
No.
Let's be honest.
Even if I'd made it to Iraq, I'm not
At that
doing that
point.
hike.
We're not doing that hike. We're going to the closest TGI Fridays. Am I right? You guys go to TGI Fridays around here?
I gotta catch the game. Anyway, turns out this is an unmarked border and they get taken. And she says she went into fierce lion mode. And honestly, they thought that it was just going to be like a short-lived thing, like a quick thing.
Ours.
No, this is where her life begins, as she puts it.
They don't know where they're going. Even the people who have them don't really know where they're going for a while.
Oh, I would hate just the uncertainty of the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Well, yeah.
If no one's telling me why we're going somewhere, what we're doing, I think that would probably drive me crazy the most, is the not like people not communicating with me. I can't take a BART ride and it stops somewhere.
Can someone tell me where we're going?
Why are we stopped?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would drive me absolutely insane. Eventually they're split apart, which is really hard.
Yeah.
So she's thrown into solitary confinement. She talks about how she had to learn how to regulate herself without crying all day. T, how does one regulate themselves without crying all day? You've been pulled apart from your friends. You're now in solitary confinement in an Iranian prison. No one's telling you what's up. How do you regulate yourself without crying all day? And she poses this question that I think we should talk about. What is identity without agency? And if you're feeling that, then her behaviors after that make a lot of sense. Because
Yeah.
like if she's not going to have agency, she's going to find a way to assert her identity wherever she can. That's like such deep shit. What is identity without agency? Think on that. She just wanted it to be over, which that would be every day. Doesn't always be over.
Every moment,
Every
every
moment.
second. Right?
And she says it herself. There's this grueling interrogation. It's absurd. It's insane. It's as if they're just like playing this game because these people aren't the government. They're maybe representatives of the government, but they're actors in this game as well. They're just trying to make time fly while the powers that be figure out their shit. Okay, what did you think about this when she said, negative human contact is amazing when you have no human contact?
Take what you could get at that point.
Which explains so much human behavior.
Oh, that's sad.
It's really sad. They say like a teenager acting out
Yeah.
is just seeking attention.
Any attention.
Any attention. And if they're not getting it because of positive things or even like mediocre things, they're going to find it by doing negative things. And she really talks at length about how humans are not meant for isolation. humans are not meant for isolation.
Mm-hmm.
The pain of isolation is physical pain. So she realized that she had to introduce some structure to her life to make these days go by, and discipline, dance, flap her tits.
Amazing. I mean, not the flubbing the tits. Sorry that I said that. Um, but this is amazing that she gets into this.
Yeah.
Like, she organizes her day. I'm so curious what she and Josh were doing
Right?
at this time.
Yeah.
What were they doing? Did they have a schedule?
Playing dominoes or something.
They didn't have dominoes, did they?
I don't know. She just
What would
had
you be doing?
oh my God. Probably something similar. Like if I made it
Yeah.
this far, I would recognize that I'd have to have a structure for myself, for my day. Whether I met it or not, is another thing. But I'd have to have ways to fill the time. And if I realized that they weren't gonna hurt me no matter what I did, yeah, I'd
Yeah.
probably get weird.
Yeah, yeah. Were you ever like left? Oh, you had siblings though, like, but when I was like left home alone in the summers or whatever,
Yeah.
I get super bored.
This is pre-internet, y'all.
Pre-internet, there's like a TV, but I was like not, there was nothing on TV then either. But like 9 hours being by myself was like the worst thing.
So what'd you do?
I worked out, I wrote letters, I think I drew, I did random stuff. But yeah, I think I'd work out a little bit. Try to get some hand-eye coordination things going on, I think. This was very intellectual what she was doing.
Yeah.
I do work. Yeah, she did some exercising.
She said 4 hours a day of
Yeah, that's a
exercise.
lot.
She knew that it was important to keep discipline.
You have to. Yeah.
Put a pillow over my face.
Yeah, I was thinking too, something like that.
My ears are
Throwing my head into the wall.
I mean, we laugh, but it's a terrible way to live.
It's
A
awful.
lot of people don't make it through isolation like that. It can really destroy you.
Yeah.
So she talks about how loss of freedom is part of the human experience. Torture is wrong and governments use it, but it's part of the human experience. What do you think she means by that?
Like it's inevitable or it's good to experience?
Like it's inevitable.
I don't know what I think about that.
Well, I think we get tastes of loose losses of freedom all the time. Injustice is a loss of freedom because my freedom ends where your body begins. So there is a limit
Right.
in my freedom, as is there is a limit to yours.
It's not as extreme as her loss of freedom.
I know, but she's
Yeah.
saying that's part of the human experience, and
Yeah.
I'm saying that that is true.
That is true. Yeah.
And she's saying that in these altered states, we can rebound from them, but sometimes if it's too extreme, those consequences can be irreversible.
Yeah.
She at some point she was like, "Well, fuck, I'm surviving this." Like there's this hope she's built the structure for herself. She's connecting maybe with the guards in different ways, and she thinks I'm surviving this. And she starts to see beauty and gratitude in all these weird little things, like being in her outside cell and seeing the sky, a leaf, an ant colony. How much do we take for granted? Did you go outside today, T? No, you didn't.
I went outside a lot.
Okay, never mind. Did you?
Listener,
Whoever is listening,
calf.
Rachel, Jamie. We do take these things for granted. Let's talk about when she was talking about
Dust motes.
yeah, let's talk about dust motes.
Dust motes. You know what she was talking about.
Yeah, but you're fixated on dust motes, so you talk about it.
Fixated on it.
Say what you want to
You
say.
know what it, and you'll probably want to cut this out.
No.
But you know what it made me think of?
What?
Remember, is it American Beauty? What am I thinking of?
With the bag? This bag danced with me for 30 minutes.
It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But I also, on the other side of that, I was also with her when she was describing it.
And in context, that scene really works in the movie.
It really does.
It gets a bad rap.
In SNL, when they did it in SNL, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But then when I watched it in the movie first, I was like,
Yeah.
and when she described it, I was also feeling it. And it's in my heart of the story. I was touched by it.
Yeah.
But I also was thinking about, there's many ways to
Yeah.
think about
The
it.
plastic bag. I mean, what is dust? Dust is just
We're in community.
it's like our skin. It
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 is
is
our
us.
skin.
It's us in a different form. It's the results of movement, of decay. It's
It's life.
it's life
It's
itself.
death.
It's death itself.
It's a piece of us. It's you, it's me, it's everyone.
And it can look beautiful when the sunlight hits it, right?
Yeah,
I can see that.
I can totally see that. It goes slow, it goes fast, it's chaos, it's
Yeah.
order.
It
It's a
is.
paradox.
It is. Let's talk about Iran and their fight against the big Western white devil
Okay.
on one side. But they also want to be taken seriously on the world stage. The way she explained this, like, made so much sense to me. And it's just people are as bargaining chips, and they are to be used as pawns. The US does it too. It she talks about how it's advantageous to the US to make Iran look bad. "Look at our poor Americans stuck. They were just hiking. They're not spies. They were just hiking. Look at this evil took them." But both governments are against its people. They're only interested in power and control. They're more alike than they realize. They just have different ways of going about it. T, I see God in you.
Oh, that's nice of you to say.
It's a really nice thing to say to someone. It's a really nice thing to hear.
Yeah.
I mean it. I do see God in you.
Oh, you too.
Uh-huh. So she gets out of prison. Where's my mom? They're reunited. It's fucked up. She's got survivor's guilt. She gets some Sean Penn on the phone and she goes in super badass mode. She's got to feel her fucking power. She's got to. She's got
I
to.
love her modes.
Her modes are great.
Fierce lion mode, super badass mode, right?
Yeah.
Warrior mode.
Feel my power.
Yeah.
And this is just all the after effects of PTSD.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, she talks about, like, when she's crossing the road with her mom
Oh
and the
God.
driver almost hits her, and she said that she would've had a gun, she would've killed the
Oh
guy.
God.
She punched the car. I mean, I've wanted to punch a car. I never have, but I wanted to. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's angry and she's operating under this idea that nothing will be taken from me even though they have taken so much from her.
Yeah.
They, capital T,
Mm.
will not take life from me. And she talks about how she has to sit with the grief of not being able to have children. She doesn't explain how they've taken that from her. I'm sure that was like purposeful that she didn't explain why. I'm assuming that it's something around the idea that her life is just too focused on changing systems that it wouldn't make sense to
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
settle
Well,
down to have a kid.
maybe yeah, it's not her life's focus anymore.
Oh, this next part was crazy when she talks about her partner talks about her eyes getting soft.
Yeah.
And there's this difference between receiving the world and penetrating the world.
Yeah.
What did you think about when she said, "We're here to embrace life fully, not protect ourselves from it"?
Yeah. This struck me. I got pretty emotional as she talked about this.
Yeah, what does it make you think about?
I don't know, I thought it was pretty sad. It didn't feel as joy, the a loss of joy or, like enjoyment or some, being able to like experience those feelings.
Like, with that mantra comes the bad too. If we're here to embrace life fully, not protect ourselves from it, to me, that just means you're taking it all. This is like how joy and pain are or joy and trauma are kind of the opposite sides of the same coin. You can't enjoy the rainbow without the rain. It's that whole idea. And
Right.
we think that we can protect ourselves from pain. We think that we can protect our children from pain,
Right.
but we can't. We can minimize it as best we can,
Yeah.
but in some ways, we're doing them a disservice if they've never felt any pain or injustice, and then we just put them out in the world and go, "Alright, good luck. I'm sure everyone will be nice to you." Like, that's not how the world works.
Yeah.
It made me and I'm not coming down on trigger warnings or content warnings, but it made me think a lot about that idea that, like, somehow people can be so precious with what they're guarding their mind from, and there's no judgment. People have their reasons that they have their reasons. For me, if we've talked about this before, if it's like if an animal is being hurt or something, like I'm not interested in content like that. Like I just don't want to take it in. So I'm thankful for a trigger warning like that. I think it's essential that we face hardships.
Of course.
And
But,
that's hard. But to me, that gives me hope. When I hear people talk like that, it makes me feel good. 'Cause it's this human condition. It's not gonna be all roses and butterflies. There is gonna be hardships and everyone has them and everyone
poor,
but everyone acts like they don't. Like, that's the whole problem with, like
saying that.
that's the whole problem with, like, influencer culture. It's like they put on this face that, like or social media, it's either, "Oh, really amazing and good," or it's, "Oh, really, really terrible and bad," and everyone experiences a mix of it somewhere in between, and that's what
Sure.
life is, and if we deny that, we are denying our humanity, and our humanity is all we've got, and that's all we have in common. That's it.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. But it's nice to feel pure joy,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
right? I'm not saying
Well, yeah,
there's no reality and
but could you live 100% in pure
no,
joy?
that doesn't exist.
Well, you'd be so fucking annoying.
Yeah. I'm just saying it seemed to me that, that like her experience, it started to just lean the other way a little bit more
Mm.
after this experience. Obviously.
I think that's what she's talking about when she talks
Yeah.
about how to be healed, like, she was in this hard mode, like, "I'm gonna steel myself, and everyone's an enemy, and everything's a fight, da, da, da," and I can't live like that. It's not a way to live. You can't live in one extreme or the other, and she specifically says and then she turns it and she says, "We can't be separate from each other, but we also can't dominate each other. It's about us collectively facing down the systems that are trying to destroy us."
Yeah.
So there's, like, a few things happening there.
Yeah.
You have to be hard, you have to be soft. You cannot be separate. You cannot dominate. We have to band together. Beautiful. She talks about liberation and stuff, and then she gets to the point where Shane and Josh are released, and they go on the roof, and they sing, and they have wine, and they hug, and she talks about just this idea of a moment. Do you have any
I love that.
Do you have any moments that you beckon back to that you, like, in the moment thought to yourself, "I want to remember this moment always." Do you have those?
Lots of moments and a lot of times it's singing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
singing's important.
Yeah, so when she was saying there, like, on a roof singing, I was like, "Yeah,
I wonder what songs they were singing.
yeah." Probably that patriotic song, right? No, but a lot of times it's, like, singing at the top of your lungs randomly in big groups in harmony, sometimes. Little moments can be really powerful. Well, you got some?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a special thing when you're around people that you love and your belly's full or you've had a glass of booze and
Mm.
the twinkle lights are on and
Yeah,
the songs are playing and everyone is just, like, laughing, and I mean, we have those moments all the
yeah,
time.
all the time.
It just makes you wanna, like, just, I don't know,
Yeah.
consider them more.
Oh,
They're so special, and so many people don't have them.
gotta write 'em down.
Yeah. Mass incarceration is an abomination, blah, blah, blah. Just kidding. It is. I guess probably my last thing that I wanna talk about that stuck out to me is, when she starts talking about feminism and the privilege that she has as a white woman and her mom and her because of feminism, have always kind of had this thing to fight for. They've been on this path of liberation, and there is this question of what about men? If it's almost like they're the perceived enemy because of the patriarchy, but the patriarchy hurts men as well. They just don't have a model to to know how to behave. The model that the patriarchy sets for them doesn't fit for with feminism, so they're at odds that way. But again, these are just systems. Feminism isn't meant to hurt men. It's meant to battle the patriarchy.
Mhm.
But it's for men too. I just thought it was fascinating when she talks about how How limiting it is, though. How the patriarchy, even if a man wants to stand in the patriarchy, it's so limiting to how he's supposed to encounter the world and other people and women. What is he supposed to do with that? It's like there's demon man and hero woman. It's so limiting.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more. We are human. We are fully human. That's it. That's it. I'm only human. I'm only human. Of flesh and blood, I'm made human. Born to make mistakes. It's so funny because I was just reminded of a scripture from the Bible.
Oh, right.
We war not against flesh and blood, but we war against the principalities of darkness.
Oh.
Anywho, Z,
Yeah.
that's all I got. T, anything else that you want to talk about? I don't know if we did it, but that's what we're giving
I
y'all.
don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
It was a
That
lot.
sounds hard.
It was
It's a
difficult.
hard one.
Same.
Is it because?
I'm like, am I just rusty or what?
No, you did good at that.
No, I thought you
I
did.
did. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, sometimes you
Jenny,
spent like
okay.
2 minutes thinking and then didn't
Your
give me an
questions were hard.
Well, it's easy to ask the questions because I had a chance to sit and think about it.
Oh.
I don't know. We're working on it, y'all.
Oh.
Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of Trauma Bonded. You can find our show where podcasts are kept. Please rate and review us. We're back, baby. And we promise some extra content. Thanks to Sarah for sharing their story and giving us the opportunity to talk about it. And thanks to This Is Actually Happening team, including Whit, Missildine, and Andrew Waits, and the maker of music for our website, Nathaniel Trimpoli. And thanks to Cathy Sitzes for editing this episode, and Caple for building those blasted Instagram posts. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. You can contact us at traumabondedpod@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram, website. We are trauma bonded to the story, to the storyteller, to the listeners, and to each other. Thanks for spending time with us today. Love you, T.
Love you, Elly. Good job. Hey, thank you.
Hey, thank you. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Trauma Bonded.